I want to play a clip for you of Carson Beck answering a question about what he thought during the Texas A&M game. Just want to play the clip, and I want your reaction before we dive deep into today's show. Let's go ahead and play it.
With the way the schedule worked, you got to sit there and watch Texas A&M on Saturday night. Was there anything, that stood out to you, maybe that was different that you picked up from watching Texas's defense?
Yeah, well, I don't watch football, so I know that sounds kind of crazy, but no, I don't really enjoy watching football. It's not fun for me. I watch film, so I'll explain for a second what I mean by that. So if I watch that game, I'm not just going to be able to sit there and enjoy it. I'm going to stress myself out the whole entire time. I'm watching the defense. I'm like, okay, why this coverage on this down? I'm like, well, why did he throw it there against this coverage? And I mean, but you can learn from watching it, but no, it's stressful for me because I don't ever give myself a break whenever it comes to football. But I mean, I've watched the film back, obviously now afterwards, knowing that we're going to be playing Texas in the SEC championship. But no, I mean, their defense is really good. They have a lot of talent on defense, and their defensive coordinator does a good job at putting them in good positions to execute and play at a high level. So I'm just excited for the opportunity to play them again.
At first, when you hear him say, I don't really like to watch football, I don't really watch football, you're like, man, what are you talking about? Because we all love football, we all love to watch it. But hearing him explain the reasoning, and I always say, I've got no problem with him doing that. I think we see that in other professions too. But I just don't see why you would even say that. But why even?
He started backpedaling in the middle.
Yeah, what? But why? But why? Even if? And again, I know he watches the film. I know you can't play quarterback for Kirby Smart and not be prepared to play or put in the hours. You wouldn't start. But why say that now in case you go out there and play bad again? It's just going to open up another line. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's to the point in his career where he's like, I'm playing in the SEC championship game or whatever. But, you've been a part of a program. I have. Blaine has. You watch film all the time. You're consumed by it. It's obviously different now. But part of me does understand saying, hey, if I watch this game, there's a certain way I have to watch it. My dad used to tell me all the time, you become a better player when you actually learn how to watch film. A lot of guys watch film, but they don't know really how to watch film. So what do you think about what he said and then just saying it? See, to me, I'd have been like, I thought it was a great game. We're getting ready for
Okay, well, I understand conceptually when college football is your life 24/7. And that's what it is for these guys, that you don't spend one extra second of your free time necessarily throwing a let's watch Texas versus Texas A&M party. I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, I watched every Super Bowl. I watched every other game I could possibly watch. I just took two things away from that. The starting quarterback at Georgia doesn't like watching football. Okay, that's problem number one. And two, if you did watch it, you'd get stressed out. Well, Texas defense is coming to stress you out even more in person. And I know that Georgia won the first go-around, but you threw 3 interceptions. So, I mean, I'm not making a huge deal out of it. How could you draft the guy? If you were a GM, how could you draft a guy who's up there saying, yeah, I don't like watching football?
Well, that goes into what I was saying, because what you just said, the first thing you get out of that is the quarterback at Georgia doesn't like watching football. If you're a layman to the sport or you don't really know what goes into it, I think that's what everybody's going to take away from it. And it just opens you up to that. And then, I didn't even think about the NFL part of it. I mean, you think you're consumed by it now. There's no school in the NFL. Your school is football. So if you think you're consumed by it now, as high level as Kirby runs that program, in the NFL is totally different. You are in that facility all day. It is all football. You don't come up for air. So to me, I mean, I guess to David's point, should he be stressed out watching the game because he watches it a certain type of way?
Look, you're a quarterback in the SEC. You should want to be stressed out all the time. To me, that means you're doing something you love. And the thing about it is, I had a job in high school. I worked at Pizza Hut. Sucked. But the last thing I wanted to do after getting done with that, I couldn't take the smell of pizza. I couldn't be around it or anything. From a certain extent, I get that. But it's something about, especially being a fan, seeing your quarterback get up there and say he doesn't like watching football.
And that's...
It's just no way. I heard that, but the only thing it made me want to do was grab a bunch of money out of my bank account and go put it on Texas.
Yeah.
I bet Quinn Ewers loves watching football.
Well, it's, again, and Quinn may feel the same way he does. I don't know Quinn Ewers. But it's one thing to feel something. I always quote my uncle, who is one of the smartest guys that I know. Well, my uncle that's married to my dad's sister, not the other one. I actually do the opposite of what he says. But not on my still on my mother's side. But when I look at Quinn just answering it like that, how does that help anybody? How does that help you? How does that help the team? Why not just say, I thought it was a fantastic game? Texas played really, really well. Kudos to them. We're excited to play them in the SEC championship. I feel like we're going to be prepared. There you go. That's it. Just say that. Nobody has to know how you really feel about it. You know how many people go into press conferences and don't say how they really feel about something? Probably 90%.
Could I just comment on the pizza analogy real quick? Because I think it's one I've heard a lot my whole life. Like people who work in a restaurant, the last thing you want to go do is like eat pizza if you work in a pizza restaurant. But that's why you don't own a pizza restaurant to this day. You know what I mean? So if I'm trying to invest in a pizza restaurant, I want Gordon Ramsay. I want somebody who you can't pull out of the place.
Yeah, I want a sicko.
Like, I want somebody who's like making
Obsessed.
it every day and is like, I can't leave here because I think I found a new way to make this stuff, right? Like, that's who I want to be the quarterback of the team.
And the quote he said was, just because you can say something doesn't mean you should say it. I think that's really good. What's up, YouTube? Almost to 160,000 subs. You could be the one to get us over that hump, and wouldn't that be a great feeling for everybody involved? Make sure you hit that subscribe button.